What's up, you guys? Jason here with 615fishing.com, and I have a saltwater episode for you today. It's the first of 2 episodes that are going to be all saltwater, and I'm in Florida right now, so I'm shooting more episodes that I can bring to you later on. Remember to stick around to the end of the video because we are giving away prizes until I get to 100 subscribers. So once I get to 100 subscribers, I'm giving away a pretty big package. If you're wondering what the package is, check out the previous videos. It expands on the package. I'm not where I can see all my gifts right now, so make sure to definitely subscribe, hit the like button, ring the notification bell so you're aware whenever I put out a new video. But let me stop gabbing and get right to it. So I have to admit that I don't really know what I'm doing when it comes to saltwater fishing. So basically all I'm doing here is using bass fishing techniques to try and catch saltwater fish for the most part. So what I've got here, I've probably got a medium rod, and that's actually a 4,000 reel with some 20-pound braid on it. I've probably got an 8-pound leader on there, fluorocarbon. But I've just rigged up a drop shot. Saltwater, I believe they call it bottom rig. But there were a ton of these. There were a ton of these croakers. Listen. You can hear them croak like that. They're cute little fish, and I ended up using some croakers for a larger rig. The intention was catch the smaller fish at or near the pier, take those fish, put them on a larger rig, and then use that larger rig to hopefully catch something bigger. Now, in the past, I did really well doing that technique because there's a lot of pinfish under this pier. So I would catch the pinfish, put them on a much larger hook. You know, for me, I was using a 7/0 hook, going for something big, right? And honestly, we were catching nice size reds using that technique. So I thought, I'll just repeat that technique. That's what I'll do. Throw a small hook with a little bit of gulp on it. I was using a lot of this gulp shrimp, and I just cut the pieces up to put on a little size 2 drop shot hook. That's literally what I was using. This is not a saltwater rig. It's nothing fancy. It's just a drop shot rig. And going after these croakers and these pinfish on the edge of the dock. And what's interesting about fishing out here is that there are schools and schools of them. And you'll notice me try to get these little miniature hook sets all the time. That's because I was being hit over and over and over. It was like swimming a swim bait through a massive school of fish. It was just like hit, 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 hit. Like it was constant. And you'll see me miss tons of hook sets because it was just like something was nibbling on the bait the entire time. And like I say, I'm not a pro at pier fishing. There's another miss. And the direction I'm fishing right here, there's actually a hole out there. There's one. So I was actually looking at an app that I have that allows you to see depths. So I was shooting towards a deeper hole. Now this is a fish, I have no idea what this fish is. I know now that it's not a mullet, but at the time, that's what I thought I was catching. This guy is, I'm guessing, a mullet. And I still, to this day, honestly, don't know what this fish is. It's really skinny.
Teethies.
Yeah, he's got some teeth, and kind of has a greenish back to him, so I just started calling them greenbacks after a bit.
Little greenback.
Long, skinny fish. But they were fun to catch. They were everywhere. I caught tens and tens of those that day. The interesting part about this area is there's an area where there's a lot of grass. And historically, I've caught a lot of reds in the grass. But this time when I went to fish out there, there were no reds. Most of the grass had washed away, and I believe that was because of a previous hurricane that had come through and kind of changed the landscape under the water. But there's areas where there's a boat canal coming out of this marina that's a little deeper. So I would shoot for this boat canal. And every once in a while you would see a massive fish swimming under the dock. And I do not know what they were. I was assuming they were giant reds, but I never hooked into anything really big on this day. But there were so many small fish. It was unbelievable how many fish. The pinfish that hang out underneath the dock, which is what I'm going for here, are real finicky. My little drop shot rig was almost too big of a hook for them. Now here's one. So now you take the small pinfish, and talking about the technique I was using earlier, I'll take this small pinfish, I'm going to put it on a larger setup and try to get it out into that boat canal going after a larger fish, possibly a red or something. That's the intent anyway. Was it working that day? Meh. It was August. Water temperature was really high. Air temperature was really high. I mean, basically the water was like taking a hot bath. So, and I have no idea what the tide was doing this day. Here's one of my previous croakers I had caught that did not result in a large fish and was already dead and not swimming. So it was time to change him out. So just get the pinfish, put him on the larger hook. I'm sure some of you saltwater fishermen are like, who is this joker and what the heck does he think he's doing? The answer is, I have no idea. That's the truth. So taking the pinfish, putting him on the larger hook and getting him out there into the boat canal where the water's a little deeper and possibly a little cooler on this day, hopefully, to hopefully result in a larger fish. That was the intent anyway. And then just chuck that sucker out there. Now this one is not rigged up drop shot. And this is one of my oldest reels. It's hilarious. It's a POS Shakespeare reel, and I've got it on a Bass Pro 8-foot saltwater rod, cheap saltwater rod. But this one's hooked up as a Carolina rig. So I've got about a 1/2 ounce egg weight, about a foot and a half of leader, and that 7/0 hook. So that's going to sit there and wait and see if there's anything larger that'll pick up on it. Now, while that larger rig is out there waiting, I'll pick up one of my lighter rigs.
You want some bait?
And look for more pinfish for the most part. That's kind of the system I was trying to do. So I ran into this kid while I was down there, probably a high schooler, young high school. And he was trying to catch anything. So far he had caught nothing really. And I was trying to help him at that point. So I was like, hey, you know what? I've already got a pinfish out there. You take this one that I drop on the dock.
There you go. Take him from the bottom, yeah, because the spikes will get you. Up through the lower jaw, like right under the chin and out through his forehead, as close to his mouth as possible. Don't go too far back or you'll brain him and then he'll die. And
in this hot water, that you know, the the bait needs to
Did he get one?
be able to swim around.
Has he got a bucket? What's he doing? Is he just practicing?
If they're not swimming around, if they're just dead bait, probably not going to do too hot because the water's so warm.
Gotcha. Nice guy.
There were a couple of people fishing on the dock this day. Whenever I'm out and I run into folks who
Between Lady Gray and 17?
aren't catching,
Gotcha.
you know, at least the level of fish that I'm catching, I try to help them out.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to get in the channel.
Even if they don't ask, I feel like it's kind
I'm not
of
getting any hits on my pinfish.
my duty to help people catch a fish. I've always been that way. I don't know why. But if I'm catching multiple fish and there's people over there struggling to even get anything on a hook, I feel like, hey, you know what? I should give them a tip or something.
See, I get hits, but they're not. They're not. Ah. The croaker die? I bet my pinfish is dead too.
And like I say, it doesn't take long in this warm water like it was that day for the smaller fish to die when they're out there in a little bit deeper water. Those smaller fish, they like to get underneath the piers to hide and keep away from predators, and then we put them on a hook and toss them out there in deeper water for predators. So they don't last very long.
Nashville? How about you? Cool. People come here from all around the country, man. That dude with the floppy hat earlier said he was from Connecticut. Yeah. Oh, that stinks. Yeah, it got pretty windy yesterday. That's not good to go out on one of the smaller boats. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta be careful with those things. It's one thing on a lake, it's a whole nother thing out here. Yeah. Ooh, there's something big down there. I just saw it.
Yeah, that was the thing. You would see these huge fish swimming under the pier and around those posts out there in the water, and you couldn't get them to really bite.
There we go. I have no idea what this is.
So now that I've looked this up,
Stop it, stop it. Oh, this is one of those sucker kind of fish. They suck on
That's
the
right.
sharks.
they eat the parasites off of sharks.
Interesting fish.
So this is actually a remora, and I never
Yeah,
really get a good
yeah.
camera angle of it.
Whatever. Oh, where's that ladyfish?
See,
might
that
be
shows you how
ladyfish.
bad I am in saltwater. I have no idea what I'm
I'm
catching.
not sure. But I know I'm not keeping it.
I didn't even want to touch it. I wasn't sure if
So let's see, what have you done with my hook?
this was the kind of
Where is
fish that you should actually touch. But it is a remora. I've looked it
Swallowed
up.
that thing.
And it's interesting to get a hook out of a fish when you're not sure if you should touch them.
Stop it.
So I finally did get the hook out. It took me a bit because he's kind of a long, skinny fish.
Do some surgery here.
Surgery indeed. But it was cool to catch something else
least now I
besides
can
the
see it better.
croakers or the greenbacks or the pinfish, because they seem to be aplenty and everywhere. This guy, thankfully, I was able to successfully get the hook out and put him out on his merry way without too much trouble.
There we go, good job. See, that wasn't so hard. Now you can get back in the water.
And that pretty much wrapped up this day of fishing. It was a hot day. I was probably there from 8 or 9 in the morning until about noonish, maybe 1, something like that. But tons and tons of croakers, tons and tons of those greenbacks. I still don't know what those things are. And pinfish for sure. Never got anything real big except for the one remora. But on my next video, I do have something a little bigger. So make sure to check with me every Wednesday or when my new videos are going to come out. Make sure to like and subscribe so you're always there when I put out a new video. And don't forget, when you subscribe, you are entered into the package giveaway. So we'll see you in the next video.